Hello everyone, I am Fiaura the Tank Girl. I have never played a Pokemon game in my entire life until April 28th, 2022. My audience challenged me to play them. I agreed. But I had to find the right conditions for such an endeavor. Something that simply would not make the game too easy, but also enjoyable and fun. And something with little stakes to it, where my actions would have consequences. Consequences that sometimes I regret. We got halfway through Yellow after starting it as a Nuzlocke, and I have agreed, after falling in love with this little series, to play through all of the generations as a Genlocke Nuzlocke, meaning a lot of different rules. Though the entirety of it means I also have to go up to Scarlet and Violet, because by the time we finish Shield or Sword, probably Shield, I'm gonna guess that Scarlet and Violet will be out. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and let me tell you about round number 2, Pokemon Crystal. Now, some logical reason for why I'm playing the combined games. One, I have been informed they are generally slightly harder, that's a plus, and slightly more complete than their split counterparts. And because once Yellow and Crystal released, I lived in a household that my parents would be convinced there would always be a combined version later, and I could wait till it came out. Now with that explained, let's talk about Pokemon Crystal. The rules. Yes, I'm going to quickly go over these every time we do one of these videos because they might change slightly, such as how they have now, in a way that will directly interfere with the run. New rule number 11. Any time that you guys want one of my non-champion Pokemon and promise to give them a good home, I am willing to trade them for an egg. I cannot know what is in the egg until the trade has been completed, and you need to make sure I have never owned the Pokemon inside that egg. Lastly, you have to promise me that the Pokemon I'm handing you, you will actually use and give a good home. Rule number 12. I can edit the game code to rename a Pokemon if the game doesn't let me. Just generally speaking, these things need to have actual names, not names that were assigned by other people, but names that I gave them. Now the quick list of the other rules. Rule number 1.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I must restrict myself within 5 levels of the gym leader, higher or lower, and I must train up all Pokemon that I have to that level. Anytime I enter a dungeon, first time through an area, or first pass through a zone or route, I cannot turn back to go to a Poké Center. I must push through to the boss or the next Poké Center, or at least the end of the route. I may carry potions, ethers, whatever I want, so long as there's no turning back, and I may only carry a maximum of 10 of any one item. You may only catch Pokemon under the following conditions. I have to learn about them, know their biology, and agree that I would take care of them and keep them as a pet in the real world if I'm going to catch them. No animal abuse here. And I cannot have caught a Pokemon on this route, area, or zone. Yes, including the Safari Zone, I get 1. And I cannot catch a copy of any previously owned Pokemon. Period. Rule number 4. When a Pokemon faints, it's dead. I must go to the computer and just put it in the graveyard to be released. I can never use it again. That simple. Rule number 5. Survivors of the 6 Pokemon chosen to go on Victory Road's Elite Four and Championship rounds are the only Pokemon that can come to the next game and that I may keep. All others may be recaught in the next game, but I have to leave the ones I have behind. And yes, I have to transfer the champions, and yes, the champions can even breed. Rule number 6. If I white screen, it's the game over. Straight up, I just have to start that game from scratch. Rule number 7. Participants against the final boss may claim a Pokemon in the future if they fall during that sequence. Just, in case I lose one of the final 6, which has happened twice. Those people aren't just locked out from being able to be like, I want to be this one. Until the current generation game Pokemon are at the level of permanent keepers, I can't use them. Until I level up my Pokemon to the ones that are my champions, I can't bring my champions out of the box to make things easy. Upon soft lock, i.e. I lost a Pokemon with a key skill and can't give it to anyone else, I restart the current game. All Pokemon that currently are in my possession are traded and count as trade Pokemon for this restart. I may not trade non-champion Pokemon for a Pokemon to be used for breeding or that I couldn't get access to otherwise. I just can't trade the champs. That I have to keep them. They're mine forever, whether I like it or not. I have to eventually get them onto Pokemon Bank, which we're working on. Now, all the rules out of the way, let's talk Crystal and start the game. And oh boy, I immediately get body slammed by my rival for just talking to them. I mean, my rival just picks me up and yeets me like a rag doll. No questions asked, no second thoughts about it, just throws me as hard as they can. Second, I meet Professor Elm, who is writing a paper on Pokemon X he doesn't quite understand yet. Neat! I have to choose Cyndaquil, just straight up. It's a flaming hedgehog. It's literally the California Firefighting Department's worst nightmare. I love it already. That sounds awful, and I should probably get help. So we take Cyndaquil, Dr. Bright, and start on our merry way with literally our fire hedgehog. Our rival becomes Florida, because Florida Man. We are now chasing Florida Man all over the game, who stole his Pokemon, and it just so happens to be Florida the Pokemon. Yes, I said those words. You cannot convince me that this is not Florida the Pokemon. I also have some emulator issues that have to be resolved on the fly while we're streaming. Next, we caught a Hoot named Azrael before moving onwards to our next adventure to catch a Pokemon. Lastly, on the first day, we acquired an Onix via trade for a Bellsprout in-game from an NPC and named it Amber. But most importantly, Lori showed me how to fix the RNG generator and how to get the files and stuff to fix Onix's name. Thank you, Leggett Lori, a very dedicated viewer who helped me fix all of this stuff. I spent the night training and we caught a Haunter named Dariri and a Sentrat named Hetty, which I fondly will refer to as my tactical assault ferret. It is at this point that someone pointed out that Azrael and Niru are shinies, and had to explain to me what the hell that even meant. So, in the process of fixing my emulator and reloading the games, I've checked this 100 times and been convinced something is wrong. I still can't figure out what. I'm not the best at this code. If someone wants to take a look at this, I would appreciate it. But yeah, Azrael and Niru are shiny, and I don't know how I feel about that after being described to me the odds of this happening. P.S. Someone had to explain to me what the hell a shiny was, by the way. Like, literally on stream, it took 10 minutes for me to understand the concept of just how rare these things are, and now I have 2 of them. Game working as intended, I guess. Also, as a note, we found out that the Pikachu from Yellow has a 1 in 100 chance of being shiny because its stats have a much tighter set of stats than a normal Pokemon, and the Pidgey you catch during the tutorial from Yellow, it also has this highly restricted stat combination. This was originally intended apparently to prevent someone's initial 2 starting Pokemon to be above average, but within this range is also the same set of shiny for Crystal to have shiny Pokemon. Hence, the Raichu that I transferred over and Murder Bird are shiny. This means that I, the streamer, began Pokemon Crystal under heavy scrutiny, supervision, and having 2 different people examine the code with 4 shinies. 2 from Yellow and 2 from Crystal. This is starting off wonderfully. I don't know how. I don't know why. Now that I've learned what these things are, I actually look for them. By the way, we actually killed a shiny in Crystal, and I didn't even realize it was shiny until it was dead. Whoops. We spent the rest of the entire game training, the rest of the entire first session training up for the gym, and from my chat telling me what the gym level was, but not the Pokemon types. I also learned how berries work, and how other items that could be held would work. Then we hit the gym, and Cyndaquil burned through the gym since Amber got too high level during the gym and would no longer listen to me. Despite the fact it was a trade Pokemon from an NPC, it still refused to listen to me as though it was a trade Pokemon from a person. I wanted an Onix last game, even after it killed Australia, and now I'm just sitting here staring. So, yeah, Dr. Bright succeeded marvelously where Amber refused. It was this point, no matter how excited I was to have the Onix, I realized something. Training it was going to be super hard, and using it for gyms or major fights was going to be even harder. Why? Because the bloody thing was never ever going to listen to me. Amber is literally a bratty sub made of rock hard-ons and absolutely never listens to her mistress, who should be in charge, with no amounts of whips change or other things will change this situation. Grrr. I throw Amber in the timeout box. Just throw her in there. And get my first egg from the professor. This is where I realized that I put Amber in the box with the taser mouse and murder bird, and they're going to teach her even worse things she doesn't need to know. Looking at you, Jenny and Nina. We then proceed to keep moving to hatch the egg. As I learn, it's based upon how many steps I take. We also had our Ghastly lick a Geodude, and I asked the question, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Geodude named Drazzle? After grinding up Drazzle from 5 to 11, we kept walking, and our egg hatched right after the game decided that 5 p.m. is apparently nighttime. What the fuck? 5 p.m. is not nighttime. I'm recording this right now. I can tell you for a fact 5 p.m. is not nighttime. Come on, game. Why does Patogepi not come all the way out of the egg? What the hell? Seriously. What is this Pokemon? Why does it exist? Is this made to be specifically more frustrating than Magikarp to train? Because it really is. Why is this Pokemon? How does this species survive? We named it Ponychick by Dice Roll. Now we blast through the Slowpoke cave like it's nothing. Team Rocket did not stand a chance against anything we used, where I also was issued a lore ball, which I do not understand at all. Dr. Bright literally explodes our way through Gem 2, melting and setting a full-on forest fire, and fully earns the nickname of California Fire Department's worst nightmare. There was zero stopping us. Our fire starter, an unexpected rival fight. It is, crap. Essentially, when I have Pokemon whom I'm training and not Pokemon who are made to assault against this, right before I pulled Amber the Onyx, aka Anal Beads, out. I'm gonna be honest, the rival fight had us in a total panic. It was completely unexpected, and I have nothing to deal with a water type yet. Absolutely nothing. But Florida Man is gonna Florida Man and show up when you're least prepared for him, because Florida Man. By the way, his Pokemon are higher level than the last gym by a lot, and also happen to be, well, you know, a direct counter to our best Pokemon, Dr. Bright. He starts with his Ghastly, not shiny, unlike ours. I'm gonna hold that over Florida Man's head. And it becomes a war of ghost, sleep, and spite versus Dr. Bright's ability to breathe fire. Out comes Croconaw, which I have nothing. I tried Ginger, our Spinarak, which we caught earlier at the beginning of the game. Yeah, this one, I missed this one while looking for footage. Hopefully Ginger can find it. But then we switched to Niru, the Ghastly, putting the Croconaw to sleep before inappropriately licking it to death. I'm not kidding. We sat there licking it over and over again, slowly working the hit points down by having Niru lick Florida Man's Pokemon, Florida Man, the Pokemon, to death. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. We didn't have a grass type or electric type. I want to point out it could literally deal enough damage to nearly one-shot most of us, as I put out Ponychick to get instantly critical hit from 30 to 6. The water gun spam was real, by the way. So very real. I felt like I was in a Nerf Super Soaker fight with one of those cheap dollar store pistols, and your friend brought the thing that has a backpack. I'm burning through potions, every one of them I have, and into super potions, which I could not buy or replace at this point, only to be critical hit by water gun again and again. I got critical hit 5 times by water gun, and all I could do was have Heady quick attack over and over again for around 10% of his HP per hit. He got his 6th critical and killed our Sentrat, Heady. That's right, this fight had 6 critical hits in the span of 10 rounds, and this fucker still had more water gun. Metronome failed us again as it fired Zap Cannon, which would have absolutely murdered Florida Man the Pokemon, but instead it missed. I was forced to put out Dr. Bright and risk it all at this point to tackle. This, in addition to Florida Man having summoned his Pokemon out of order, he summoned his Ghastly, then Croconaw, then went to Zubat. We switched out to Dr. Bright to avoid confusion and put Amber in and eventually bring the Zubat down, but the damage was done. I was on full tilt, I just lost Heady, and yeah, I softly cried. Afterward, it seems I've lost our only normal type and still don't have a grass, water, or electric. So, you know, 3 out of 4 basic types completely uncovered. This is, starting off lovely. We would finish the stream with something terrible. Dr. Bright, our beloved starter, would go down to Milk Tank's rollout, because I didn't realize rollout was a rock move instead of a normal type move, as well as our Togepi exploding during its training from Metronome. All because I went for broke, and Southwest Airlines canceled my flight to the convention for Sequestria Fest in Ocean City, Maryland, meaning I was going to arrive a full day late to the convention now. This means the following. Ghastly, we call it, licked our Bellsprout to death, so James is dead. We lost Hetty the Sentrat in an unexpected rival fight, Pony Chick exploded because of Dice Roll, and now Dr. Bright, who had evolved into Quilava, making us all feel better, our beloved starter, was gone too. I released Dr. Bright. And then had a problem. You see, Dr. Bright was the only Pokemon I had on our team that could learn Cut, the hidden move. The city I'm in requires Cut to get into and out of, which means I soft-locked myself. Officially, our first run of Crystal is a defeat. Talk about dark days. After a decision and a brief discussion, I moved all survivors to the new game. I spent the entire day, I was stuck and unable to go to Sequestria Fest, rebuilding the game back to where we were before the entire day. I not only did this, but we made the trade rule and a fan helped me trade my Graveler to become a Golem. Then we traded Sandslash and Rapidash from our yellow game to acquire something very important, a Scent Red Egg, which we immediately trained into a Furret, and having bred it with our Sandslash, it knew the move Slash. We also gave it the TM for Thunder Punch, so now we have an answer to Florida Man's Florida Man Pokemon. Pony Chick became our new Cyndaquil because of the Softlock Game Over, which I immediately taught to cut a bitch, just like we had Dr. Bright, in case fire was not the answer. And now we had our Murder Death Machine Furret Solar Aura, i.e. our Tactical Assault Ferret. We encountered Sudowoodo and, well, just kind of smashed our way past it with Amber the Onyx to start with to slowly bind it down. We encounter a female Gyarados, and I get all excited, and it roars it away, making us miss the catch. I mean, so far, this has not gone our way. We had a Softlock. Half the Pokemon I've traded from the Softlock will only listen to me if I keep them below a certain level. I did not manage to catch the Sudowoodo, and now the female Growlithe literally made us run away. Yeah, so you know, this run is rough. Crystal is absolutely nightmare level hard compared to Yellow. Now Bill gives us an Eevee, which is too high level once we evolve it to learn Thunderbolt as a Jolteon. Seriously. How could this Eevee be in a worse position to evolve? Anyway, its name is Everfree, which now has resulted in me having two female Eevees. Chris and Everfree are both female Eevees. I can't even begin to make this shit up. Seriously, this has happened. It gets better, but we're gonna save that for Emerald. There are actually two reasons for Jolteon. One, in Yellow, we beat the ever-living crap out of Jolteon that belonged to our rival, Kevin! And I wanted to prove Kevin wrong about them being crap. Two, I wanted to make sure that they got through all of this. Working our way through the third gym to be ready, this was a task. We had to solve a puzzle about a Kabuto and an unknown to get through the next cave, and on our way, when I realized had a stalker on our phone. Oh joy, we now have a stalker. By the way, you have any idea how hard it is to use a Jolteon who doesn't know any electric moves? I do. We fought a trainer Vaporeon and still had no electric moves. While training, we realized we needed a Pokemon to get Surf. That meant I had to look up chat and we had to make a discussion about what we're going to catch. We caught Meryl named it Australia. She's adorable and would become our primary water Pokemon for most of the game, but wouldn't actually be the water Pokemon by the time to get to Victory Road. Foreshadowing. I'm here to interrupt my own video. So very hard. You see, I want to let you all know this. I agreed that if any of these Nuzlocke Genlocke videos hit 100 likes and 1,000 views before we make the next one in the series, I'm going to do something crazy. White 2 is a game that is on the schedule to be played. When we play it, I'm going to allow chat to play instead of me in a marathon that I will leave running even while I sleep so the chat can keep going and see how long it takes all of you to finish Pokemon White 2 in a Twitch Plays format. That means drop a like, share with your friends, make this happen. Our previous video before I got to this recording got up to 82 likes. Which means if this video goes out and it's short, then Crystal here, the video you're on, needs 100. Now, back to Crystal play. From here, no one died, and our new Togepi got named Caramel. I spent all day training it. I'm gonna be honest, that this is the last session of the game that would be, well, normal. For a start, I started playing Pokemon Go, which is wonderful and fun. It has some flaws and some quirks I don't like, but I'm having fun with it. And while I'm streaming any Pokemon games, I have it open so I will lead gym raids in my area for you guys. This gives us a good reason to play together, and, well, shortly after, I would head to Ocean City, Maryland for the Sequestria Fest convention as a guest, and it would be 10 days before I would pick up Crystal again. because I would contract the beer and it would nearly kill me. Anyway, we also took advantage of the move trainer to give our Everfree Jolteon Thunderbolt and ran into our third fight with Florida Man right out the start of the next session, which Eevee just kind of dominated like Everfree. I mean, just being the massive queen she is, I cannot express how destructive a Jolteon is now with Thunderbolt. To quote me, "Electric chair that asshole! Turn that into crocodile steaks that belong on the Waterboy movie set!" We fight our way through the ghost gym, and the chat guides me along the floor to the end of the gym to hit the gym leader for Everfree and Ponychick to electrocute and flame wheel their way through all of it. I also brought a variety team because I didn't know what I was actually fighting until I got there, and couldn't back out. All of this, plus the gym has an express exit. Yay. It feels so nice. We hit level 50, which meant I could, in theory, bring Brett, our champion Charizard, who's level 48, to the Elite Four and Championship from Yellow out to help if needed, as well as no longer had worries about Azrael, Amber, Niru, or Ginger disobeying me as trade Pokemon for my first attempt at Crystal. More flamethrowers and Westinghousings later, through the dark cave, plus a little surfing on Australia. It's time. Training. You know how it goes. Training montage. Including seeing a Flaffy another trainer has and being very jealous that I can't get one in Crystal. The next day was smooth. Ponychick learned Flame Wheel. We trained up, getting higher and higher level for gym number 5, the Strength and Fighting gym. I also got stopped for a total of 10 minutes by a puzzle that should have been solved by a 3-year-old. Then we changed Strength, and I sent out Niru, our shiny haunter, to deal with this entire fighting gym as though it was nothing. You want to see something utterly destructive and abusive? Watch this fight. It's just a work of art how Niru is completely immune to everything everyone in this gym has, especially the gym leader, and then causes paralysis, sleep, and confusion while smashing her way through. Niru at this point, I fell in love with. The ghost type was just a horrible thing for them to face down. And Niru basically one-hit Chuck. Yeah, no, you're called one-hit Chuck because your Pokemon only take one hit. This was just a piece of work with giggity hit points for Niru to put to sleep and shaded everything Chuck could use. She just put them to sleep and slaps them to death. This isn't a fight, it's domestic violence, and we needed popcorn for it. I do not advocate domestic violence, but that is a pretty freaking good joke. I did have to switch to Lori when the Poliwrath woke up and had to have her do a little work for some time while I made a plan. I then put Ginger, who is resistant to all fighting moves, but was still able to be confused. But Ginger had Nightshade and Leech Life, which, as he saw through the confusion and worked his way through despite being confused the entire time and coming agonizingly close to death. Finally, we put out Australia to absorb the surf. Our little Azure Meryl had all grown up and Poliwrath was like, "Surf," and she showed him what surf properly is. Yes, you can kill me for that fun. For that little pun as she surfed her way to victory. This gave us the Storm Badge, an ability to progress further as well as use the Fly HM. He also gave us Dynamic Punch for later, which of course I would never use. Lastly, it was ruled, even in the presence of a shiny, I am not allowed to catch it if it is a Pokemon I have caught previously, so we KO'd the shiny Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. No hesitation, no second thoughts. You heard me correctly. I put out Murder Bird, Jenny the Pidgeot to give her some time to shine, and killed the only guaranteed shiny in all of Crystal, because I had previously caught a Gyarados who had died carrying us through the Elite Four of Pokemon Yellow, taking out Lance's Dragonite. We salute you, Adagio, and I will not insult your memory. Lastly, for more bouts of happiness, Lori evolved, and we had tense moments to determine if I should let her or not, because I wasn't 100% sure what her moves would be. Now we get to the bad part. I would not be allowed my marathon birthday stream that I have done for the last 5 years. For the third time in my life, instead, I spent my birthday in the hospital with a life-threatening condition. I had COVID-19 and my immune system had eaten a hole in my heart. My immune response had also put me in danger of bursting my eardrums from overpressure in my head when the disease hit its apex at 30,000 feet on my way home. The plane was given priority landing status and a doctor was brought back from first class to sit with me and make sure I would be okay. If I had gotten on the plane home as the paramedics had suggested, it is very likely I would not be talking to you. That's right, 3 birthdays in my life spent in the ER, 3 birthdays spent nearly dying. Seems death owes me an ice cream sundae.
Falsely spotted, we're going to Baskin Robbins.
I spent 3 agonizing days in the ER, after which the California social worker at the hospital, because I was deplaned in LAX instead of my hometown Tucson, i.e. the place I lived, put me in quarantine unit at the Vagabond Inn right on USC campus in downtown LA, where I would be taunted constantly that I only had access to 1 Pokestop, which I was ever grateful for to have access to on Pokemon Go. But I would spend nearly 2.5 weeks there and would have a total of 2 additional days before one of our editors from Shotgun Angel Productions, our animation and audio production studio here on YouTube, Larsis, could send me my gear and equipment and get it through their security screen at the quarantine site for me to use. Which, you know, I mean, there was a total of 9 days. COVID sucks. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. Moving on. I then proceeded to stream all of Crystal and the first half of Emerald while recovering from COVID quarantine. A side note of this problem, if you see this Pokemon, this is Glitch. My first buddy in Pokemon Go, and honestly, having it act like a Tamagotchi plus AR, plus it didn't have to randomly die when you go to sleep, made Glitch an amazing little ball of fun to have, and I still have her. Just taking pictures and knowing there was someone, even if they were artificial and I couldn't actually touch them, but they were always happy to see me in the morning, Glitch now proudly sits in my Pokemon Go roster as my go-to Team Rocket murderer. Yes, Ginger had to go through my Twitter to get those photos because my phone was damaged and factory reset by the repair, so thank you, Ginger. Now, back to Crystal. See this clip here. We began to run through the Team Rocket base with a vengeance. Newly boosted and me wanting to get through it and have something to do in the COVID quarantine, I kept going despite my energy running low. We smashed through the Team Rocket grunt after grunt like they were nothing. There was absolutely no mercy here. By the way, for all of the Crystal and Emerald, this is going to be a theme. My energy level is going to be low because COVID nearly killed me and kicked my ass that hard. I am currently actually at a place to do physical therapy for the next 7 weeks while recording this. And that's also why I'm a little breathy while I'm sitting here recording this. Second interruption. To see the hospital food dinner and the flicker light bathroom, that's a feature of the place I was staying at during quarantine. You can see my still inflated throat, by the way, and how large my throat was swollen by COVID, not to mention the bed joy hospital sheeting. I also recorded the Pokemon Yellow video that you all seem to love so much from this hotel room I was in for quarantine. Back to Crystal. We discover that Solar Aura, having Thunder Punch now, and the face. From here, grind with gems 6 and 7 easily cast aside. We make our way to the radio tower for the rampage to get to the top of the tower after we've caught a Mantine and named it Dreamer, who would now become our primary water Pokemon because look at that face. I can't say no to that face. Dreamer, you're amazing. Solar Aura was a monster by now and would literally be classified the deadliest ferret in existence. Honey badgers wish they were this lethal and would just go to work on the Team Rocket members. And then disaster. With 1 hit point remaining, a Weezing self-destructed. And once again, our beloved starter, Pony Chick, dies. Just gone in an instant. I went from ready and wanting to go to having to stop myself from crying. We spent the next 2 hours and 15 minutes on a quest for the Holy Grail. I'm not kidding. What did we do? What would happen if we failed? We'd lose Pony Chick. Who knows? But I now had, by my own rules, to find a max revive, our Holy Grail, to save Pony Chick's life. I could not put her in the computer because she would heal. I could not go to the Poke Center because she would heal. I could not heal my Pokemon at the Poke Center or rejuvenate them. We were on a time limit. Also, by my own rules, I can't use repels. So that means that this time limit is real. If my Pokemon run out of energy, I'm boned. I'm risking it for the biscuit. And we are wandering around this cave. I am COVID exhausted and it is awful. But we're going to get that max revive. I'm not going to end that stream having to release Ponychick, I did not care. The hole in my heart ached. Both emotionally and literally. You see, my immune system had eaten a small hole in my heart, hence almost dying of COVID as my immune system tried to kill me. But I was not going to let the beer nor my body stop me. We fought on and on, chat members and Discorders alike hooked up upon information on where I could get this max revive that was fabled to be in this cave. We climbed waterfalls, swam through cave lakes, wandered the darkness using a guide map, and even tried to solve puzzles I technically wasn't allowed to, all for the purpose of reviving our fallen friend. While this was going on, can I make a personal request? Can we please, pretty please, make sure these caves are better documented? Because I did not realize until we simply could find no other way to get that max revive. The cave is actually, well, requires you to have waterfall to scale up to get it. None of the guides I found mentioned this. Finally, after 2 hours of raw pain, we realized in the most anticlimactic way possible that, in fact, Ponychick, who was dying in our arms, wasn't gonna die. You see, there's a man who sells rage candy. Once you complete the gym for badge number 7, he moves out of the way at 12:01 a.m. Literally all we had to do was wait until our clock read 12:01 a.m. and this whole quest would have been solved. Because on the route, you take a little surf, you go to a little island full of tall grass, and there's a max revive on the ground. I decided that not only were we going to revive Ponychick, but we would end this stream by evolving her to Tysplosion. Which we did with minimal effort, making me exhausted but overwhelmingly happy to the point I picked the microphone several dozen times. But there she was, Ponychick, alive and well, evolved to Tysplosion, and now with more than enough HP, defense and special defense to absorb an explosion. Thank you, Ginger and MT, for refusing to go to bed until I did, and honestly, without their voices in chat, I don't think I would have had the motivation to keep going and get Ponychick back alive and have her evolve the way to end the stream with smiles on everyone's faces. Time to go kick Team Rocket out of the radio tower. Yes, I know that by going and getting the max revive, we technically violated the rule of stepping out of a dungeon. But I did it with the stream's permission to go get the revive. So I had your blessing to bend the rules this time. I understand that I must ask permission and get it every time. Finally, I dragged my COVID damaged body over for 10 hours of sleep before our next stream. The next day we begin, and what you can see is the white t-shirt that I was issued. It is awful. It looks terrible on me, and it fits the worst way possible, but this is what the quarantine unit was going to give us for clothes. White and black t-shirts and sweatpants. I'm also very hoarse now because apparently exhaustion and COVID recovery means when I woke up and streamed this day, I was dog tired, like absolutely, and coughed a lot during this stream. But we had an ice cave to conquer and make our way to the final gym. We ran into a jinx and had some serious problems between the blackface and how people turned into furries because of Pokemon. Like, this was really just a fun run and simply solving a skating puzzle. And now I run into the most frustrating part of Pokemon Crystal. Where do you train for the Elite Four and Final Gym? We're supposed to do trainer rematches from people who have phone numbers. Guess what I'm not doing, because I didn't get that many phone numbers. You guessed it. The best place to train turns out in an area where Geodudes and Gravelers can self-destruct. Note the words I just spoke. This is gonna be fun later and be haunting. Now all the Pokemon I have can take one of these self-destructs to the face and be fine. Also, I ran into a Skirmry for the first time, and it's absolutely horrifying. Good God. Thank you, Ponychick. Can you please flame wheel that to death before it enters my nightmares? This, however, would end in absolute tragedy. When Solar Aura, our Furret, who had proven she could absorb a self-destruct with little difficulty, would receive a death blow. Solar Aura would receive a critical hit self-destruct and go from full health by a full health Graveler to just be dead on the spot, exploded into pieces. My heart shattered. I almost stopped and just said no more. I worked this Pokemon from an egg to recover from a soft lock. We made sure it had Slash when it hatched. We gave it our Thunder Punch TM. And I lost our Furret, Solar Aura, in the final moments, training for the Elite Four in the champion round. she's gone. And the 6 that got to go to the championship round can thank her sacrifice for being even allowed to go, because she was definitely 100% on the list. We go into the Dragon Gym in the next day, which is a gym with a literal lava, where there are no handrails, and you have 10-year-olds coming in here to get gym badges. I'm sorry, who deemed this safe, and how did you manage to get this past OSHA? I'm serious. An OSHA person would have a fucking nightmare in here. They also referred to me as the nameless trainer. Seriously. I have 7 badges, and I'm easily handing them all their butts, but I'm a nameless nobody. Solve the lava puzzle, get to the gym leader, prepare for throwdown after 7 hours of nothing but grinding levels. Losing Solar Aura. We pounded through this. The Dratini is horribly underleveled, by the way. And, oh look, a Dragonair. Nice too. It's a Dragon Gym. You would expect this. I'm waiting on the Dragonite. Letting Everfree and Ponychick rotate in and use Flame Wheels and Thunderbolts respectively to decimate our opponents till I put Asriel, our shiny Noctowl, our very first Pokemon in Pokemon Crystal, out to deal with the paralysis problem and absorb all the Dragon Rage they wanted to use, steel winging our way over and over again out of the last trainer that blocked us from the gym leader. Now, the gym leader. You thought the gym leader was going to throw a level 33 Dratini and 36 Dragonair at me? Seriously? Ha! I love this fake out sometimes as I talk about these shenanigans and get you all tensed up for what is to come in the real Battleloo. Final gym leader, round 1, level 37 Dragonair versus Asriel, who just hyper beams it out of existence. Switch out to Lori, our bear mama, and she takes a thunderbolt to the face for Asriel. Till boom, my connection fried. For 12 agonizing minutes, the stream desperately tried to get me back on and figure out what was going on, till I cleared the connection and got the quarantine staff to give me a priority code for the provided Wi-Fi so I could keep streaming and therefore keep working to make money. Boom. We dropped back in to see Lori KO Dragonair in a one-hit with a feint attack. Now we're in business. After testing the stream, Lori would critical hit the next Dragonair and refuse to take any more shit from anyone. Now comes out Kingdra, and it's time for Lori to handle another dragon. Bear versus Dragon. Who would expect to win? She Fury swipes with a critical hit, and the second swing knocks the Kingdra down to 20%. Before feint attacking, and boom, out of here, giving us the win. But the gym leader refuses to acknowledge we won and give us our badge. She calls us lazy. She calls our ideals pathetic. She has the nerve to tell me I'm not allowed to have the gym badge, and our battle, which I won fair and square, doesn't count. What is this bullshit? How did this gym leader get here if she won't acknowledge a trainer who passed her test? I demand the Pokemon League for Johto rise up and condemn this woman, dethrone her from the gym, and refuse to allow her to serve as a gym leader or participate as a gym leader ever again. This is exactly the kind of whining I would expect from someone who cannot honor the rules of the game, nor sportsmanship of being an able battler. Anyway, I went and took a test inside the Dragon K after an old man, after which the old man went, yeah, you really love your Pokemon and they love you. He then tells her to give me the badge. She refuses again. She then gets threatened with him telling Lance on her, and she relents, finally getting me permission to go to the Johto Pokemon League. We trained up for the Elite Four already. Now we have to go on a Spirit Quest, and finally Victory Road, which all the way between us and, you know, our Westinghouse Fox Everfree and California Fire Department worst nightmare Pony Chicks smash our way through Victory Road with the assistance of our lovely, lovely ball of ancient rock Drazzle. They literally just became like my pillarmen, escorting me straight to the Elite Four. Now it was time for our rival fight, an epic showdown that had long since been overdue, and we hadn't seen Florida Man for so long at this point, I thought he just died. And, you know, had gone the way of the dinosaur to become extinct. Just as I rotate Pokemon for Dreamer, our lovely Mantine to be in front, I take one step and boom! Florida Man! Like the fun police, but full of meth, hatred, and small dick energy. He leads with a Sneasel. I've never seen one of these before. I have no idea what it is or can do. Dreamer wing attacks it and murder rates 90% of its health with one hit. I'm trained up for the Elite Four. Florida Man's Pokemon at this point are a joke. The Fury Cutter does 1 HP of damage, and the follow-up Quick Attack does 9. Dreamer, you are a beautiful, tanky water type. Thank you. His Magneton comes out and we switch to Drazzle. Reminder, a long time ago when we got a Geodude at by a hunter licking it, now Drazzle is a golem with flamethrower TM, I taught him. I'm dead serious. Our Geodude, our Golem knows flamethrower. Next up, with a massive, giant Florida Man the Pokemon, I put Everfree out, and, you know, we get some fried gator deep from the bayou via Thunderbolt from our Westinghouse Fox. Florida Man's getting desperate and sends out Haunter, which we promptly Westinghouse a ghost. I was unaware you could put a ghost in the electric chair and flip the switch and it would kill the ghost until now. That's kind of neat. Next up is Kadabra, the lowest level Pokemon Florida Man has, and we just unleash Pin Missile on it. Jolteon has a bug move, Pin Missile, and even without it being stabbed, which means that it's not same type attack bonus, it doesn't get a bonus for being Jolteon's type, it just dies. 4 members of Florida Man's team were countered by Everfree, the Westinghouse Fox. No one expects the Westinghouse Fox, not even Florida Man. Now, on to the Pokemon League and the Elite Four. I'm pumped, I'm excited. And now I deflate to all hell. All this journey leads up to this moment. We have 20 Pokemon, all of which at this point have played a role against various gym leaders, doing various things, and carrying us this far. But see rule number 5. Only the survivors of the 6 who get through the Elite Four continue on to the next game. All others must be left behind. Period. Which also means I added Rule 11 so that they would hopefully one day find a home. And if you have a physical or emulator game you're playing and you want one of the Pokemon I left behind, please, they could use a home. And I don't mean to make this sound like that kind of, you know, charity organization with puppies, but we have our cluster of Fallen, Solar Aura the Furret, Hetty the Centrat, Dr. Bright the Quilava, Ponychick the Togepi, and James the Bellsprout. But who's going to take us on this final jury that they're going to cheer us on? The answer, after I remind you you've made it this far into the video, perhaps you'd like to hit the, thumbs up button and leave your thoughts, or subscribe. You watched a video this far in. I know for a fact it's over 40 minutes because I'm looking at the recording software. Seriously. And if you really want to make that extra effort, go down into the comments and type ... for the algorithm so that, you boost this video even further in YouTube land. Even if you have nothing else to say but ... for the algorithm. Go type it. Ginger should have it on screen now. Now I'm going to reveal who we're leaving behind and the pile of Pokemon that people can ask for that have been left behind by 2 games now. Lori the Ursaring, Australia the Azumarill, Caramel the Togepi, Ginger the Ariados, and Amber the Onyx because you were just bitchy, and the chat voted to leave you here because you were bitchy. This in addition to Ginger the Dragonair, Frozy the Articuno, Drinking Buddy the Lapras, Ponychick the Nidoqueen, Amber the Primate, Legate the Blastoise, Orc the Venusaur, Azrael the Machoke, Doodle the Kadabra, and Qwerty the Venomoth are now added to the list of Pokemon that people can hand me an egg without me knowing what's in it and get to keep one of them. That's what happened. That's how we got our Furret. And I hope Razzle the Rapidash and James the Sandslash have found wonderful homes. Now, the team that got chosen for the Elite Four, for the chance to finish Pokemon Crystal. Dreamer the Mantine, our soaring water friend, who is so adorable and wonderful, a fish I would actually swim with. Think about that. I'm scared to death of the ocean. I'm terrified of sharks in every way, shape, or form, to the point I won't go in the ocean. I would swim with Dreamer. Ponychick the Tysplosion. Did you really think I was going to leave our starter behind, who we had to go through the Holy Grail quest to keep alive, and also the reincarnation of Dr. Bright, who died and soft-locked our first attempt. Everfree, the Westinghouse Fox. Enough said. Drazzle, the third of our Pillar Men. Yeah, we have a piece of artwork of these three as Pillar Men. Azrael, our shiny Noctowl, and the very first thing we caught. Man, she's come a long way, and holy cow does she have a ton of hit points at 206. The only Pokemon we have that has more than 200 HP, and our secret weapon with a Hyper Beam that she's typed for. She has a Stab Hyper Beam. Lastly, Niru, our shiny Haunter, who has the lowest HP on this team, but a Ghost type versus normal and fighting types. Oh, this could be very useful. Thanks to all the Pokemon that got us this far. Now, being the Elite Four, the first thing that comes up is Xanto. I've never seen this thing. I don't even know what this is. You heard right. And we immediately Fiaura perfect it, reducing it to 1 hit point and not killing it. Nice job, Pony Chick. Nice. Fiaura perfect. This is going to happen a lot. Pony Chick gets confused and I make a nearly completely tragic error. You see, Niru, because my brain still can't separate the anime logic of ghost Pokemon being resistant and immune to Psychic. They're not! Niru takes a full-on Psychic move hit to the face and lives. Holy fuck, she lives. I immediately take no more risks like that and bring up the Type Chart to help me as I switch out to Azrael. Flying, normal, Noctowl, which is what I probably wanted, not Ghost. Azrael eats a Psychic and pulls out Solar Aura's leftovers. Even in death, Solar Aura is making sure we can keep going as Azrael keeps regenerating and Steel Wings the Xatu down. From here, it is Azrael the Knockout just owning a Jinx with a Stab Hyper Beam and instantly knocking it out of the park. Slowbro is next, and I'm gonna pause as some people may think I'm violating the rule about overleveling, except I'm not. You see, we're locked in here with the Elite Four and have to go through all of them, finish them, and fight Lance the champion. We can't go back. Each one will gradually get higher and higher level, and then we will face Florida Man at some point during this. The level we are trained for is for the final member of the Elite Four in this final battle, since we cannot do any more training before we reach them. So no, I'm not overleveled. I'm just prepared to go through this. Azrael has to read a turn, regenerate from all of the hyper beaminess and uses her leftovers as Slowbro Amnesia's for special defense, and I'm just, okay, Hyper Beam Nuke, which almost does the trick despite the amnesia. And, she just keeps regenerating through 2 Psychic Blasts, finishing Slowbro with a trio of Steel Wings, which, if you do the math at this point, all of Azrael's hit points that she has are from regeneration by the leftovers item. I switch to Everfree, who eats another Psychic Blast and retaliates with Pin Missile, which misses. Oh, come on! Then Bug type is reused as I'm remembering that Psychics are vulnerable to this, and Xatu is a Flying type, which means it's neutrally effective. We blow our first Hyper Potion on this run through the Elite Four, and Everfree eating Psychic after Psychic to set up a Thunderbolt through her confusion. Finally, one-shotting the Xatu out of the way and pushing past the final Pokemon, Executor, which, reminder, in Crystal, you don't get a chance to switch when your opponent switches, so there's no clean switches except if someone dies. So I have to switch to Pony Chick, who takes a seeding and then uses her Flame Wheel in the most anti-forest fire prevention method possible by actually setting Executor on fire and burning it to ash. Finishing off Will, the first of the Elite Four. 1 down, 2 close calls, but 1 down. Next Elite Four, I think, is Grass type from the surroundings, as Koga, as it turns out, is actually Bug type. So, we get the California Fire Department's worst nightmare and just have it start flame wheeling, and everyone gets a flame wheel. You get a flame wheel, you get a flame wheel, you get a flame wheel, you get a flame wheel extra spicy. Everyone gets a flame wheel. I've got flame wheels for days! The Gyarados dies instantly. Fortress comes out. Bug Steel. Oh no! Mistakes were made! Pony Chick is also faster, so there's no chance to self-destruct or explode. Pony Chick just, burns the whole forest down. Muck comes out. Poison type. Not something Pony Chick can just outright own. I do have to think and pause for a minute. Drowsel goes in once I verify the type chart and starts an earthquake in response to Muck's Minimize, which blows Muck apart and sinks him down into the earth, turning him into dead. Up next is Crobat, which Drazzle shouldn't be here now because, let's be honest, flying is able to be super effective versus our Golem. Drazzle doesn't even have a rock move. Everfree, you're up. Westinghouse, this Crobat, I want fried bat skewer. Before he double teams his way up and out, Everfree is really accurate and so much faster than this Crobat. Matter of fact, the Crobat's the fastest thing that Koga has, and Everfree is even faster. Back to Bug Poison with a Venomoth. Oh. Hi, Drazzle, who's basically immune to poison and has a flaming whiffer. I did say I had Flame Wheel for days, but I have to give Drazzle some credit here. The three of them, our pillar men, dragged us through, and Koga's down. I repeat, Koga's down. After some scary emulator crash moments, we come to Elite Four member number 3, which is Bruno, who got an upgrade, and now it's time for Niru to just shine. I have trouble remembering that Niru is basically 100% immune to everything, and put in Dreamer to start. So we start with Dreamer, just to deal with the Onix, but it turns out Niru gets to hang and wait a moment, as Dreamer is a flying Pokemon who knows Wing Attack, which can these fighting types into yesterday's news if, she just hits a couple times. Hitmontop gone, but Hitmonchan potentially has Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, and Dynamic Punch, meaning he is the only thing Bruno has that is super effective against basically my entire team. I debate and switch to Niru, and I was right on the money, as Hitmonchan lands a Thunder Punch, and if Dreamer had been there, Dreamer would be 4 times weak to such an attack and instantly killed. Niru, on the other hand, has to hit a Hypnosis. She absorbs the Thunder Punch and throws the Hypnosis, and then proceeds to eat all of his dreams, like a good ghosty eating all the hopes and dreams of our opponents. Onix summons a Sandstorm that rages and does minor damage, but Niru's boosted accuracy puts Onix to sleep and eats his hopes and dreams too, instantly killing him and healing Niru in one go. Up next is Hitmonlee, who both Niru and him take damage from the raging Sandstorm, and gets put to sleep immediately. I could just see Bruno's face as it keeps eating all of his aspirations directly from the minds of his Pokemon. This is dark, and I love it. Bruno's ace in the hole, Machamp, with Foresight, which is super effective if I don't KO Machamp in 2 turns. Hypnosis lands, thankfully Machamp's championship dream is consumed before he has a chance to realize it, and he has no hope at all. Niru, the shiny haunter, just made Bruno look like a total wimp and who never had a chance in hell. Now, one more Elite Four member to deal with. Just one. Karen, the Dark-type master. So now I've got a real problem. I have nothing that can resist Dark-type. Niru will get slaughtered by being a ghost and poison. That leaves me with 2 options, so I pull out Azrael to start and just Hyper Beam the Umbreon out of existence. I'm not dealing with an opposing Eevee if I could help it. The feint attack hurts, but Azrael's leftovers prevent any real damage from sticking as the Steel Wing hits, and yet I figure perfect. This just Fiaura perfecting an Umbreon. Look at that, that's a pixel. That's literally a pixel. Another Steel Wing and it's over. Gengar is next. A Pokemon, mind you, I have no way of, getting at all. Okay, let's do this. Azrael has an arsenal to call up and fully regens from leftovers. I know that Psychic Ghost will kill Niru, but I'm thinking about the gears turning in my head for a little minute. I've always dealt with ghost Pokemon with Everfree, our Westinghouse Fox, the Jolteon from Hell. It's an unexpected move to have Pin Missile, and Gengar uses Curse, meaning I have a very limited number of rounds to deal with him. 1/4 HP every turn goes poof, but if I switch, Everfree is going to be safe, so we switch again, and Drazzle this time, keeping our beloved Westinghouse Jolteon just fine. Gengar licks Drazzle, who just flamethrowers him back, and that ends the problem with the big fat prankster ghost. Now, for a full heal to remove paralysis and heal Drazzle all the way up, Murkrow uses feint attacks on Drazzle, who just picked up a piece of the floor and smashes Murkrow's face with it over and over again for the max damage 1-hit KO there. Up next is Houndoom, the Hellhound Pokemon. Fire has one problem though. Earthquake, which Drazzle knows, and hits with space, killing Houndoom with one mighty magnitude 10 Earthquake. And moving us past the Elite Four, I heal everyone up. I save again. We have a brief emulator moment for a split second. I'm down to 4 standard potions, 3 super potions, and 5 hyper potions. And I've still got one final battle. The Dragon Master himself, Lance. And yes,
Here there be dragons. Just one last interruption to make you wake up from this video and realize how long you've been here listening to see the very end. On Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern / 3 p.m. Pacific, we are streaming a new game. A game I am game mastering for the first time since 2016. So, come on in. It's called Here There Be Dragons. In addition to this, we're still streaming our Fallout Equestria RPG game that's been going for 5 years now at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, every week. I'll see you there. You can get the link to the Twitch channel below. If you want your name in the credits, the Patreon's underneath that. Now, you've listened to my spiel. Let's fight Lance.
now you've listened to all my spiel, and you've sat through all of this so far. Let's talk about the final battle with Lance. And it's flashback time. Last time we faced Lance, we lost our Gyarados, Adagio, and I cried. I literally felt awful despite winning. Adagio left it to the rest of us to continue on to finish Pokemon Yellow. Now we have Dragon Master Lance in his fully leveled up form to deal with. He leads with Gyarados, but we know how that song and dance ends. It's now time for us to do the opposite of what happened. Despite COVID, despite a softlock game over, despite everything else that prevented me from finishing this game and getting this far, we're finishing it here and now. Azrael and Gyarados exchange Hyper Beams. Azrael's special defense and sheer ability to deal damage works like a charm. P.S. We Fiaura perfected again, with 1 tiny pixel of health. Then Gyarados uses the scariest move possible, Flail. You see, Flail does more damage the less hit points your Pokemon has. And it gives us a heart attack as it nearly knocks Azrael out of the fight when our Steel Wing misses for the first time since stepping into the Elite Four. And now it comes down to 1 single move. Allow me to explain. Gyarados has 1 hit point. Flail does more damage for every hit point you are missing. If I heal, I'll be right back to nearly dead. If Gyarados critical hits, Azrael dies. If Azrael misses this attack, anyone who rotates in will be hit with a free Flail from this Gyarados, which has a very high chance of just knocking out everyone, except Niru. But then the Gyarados is faster than Niru, which means the Gyarados can adjust and hit Niru with something else. Everfree, Ponychick, and Dreamer, none of them can take this Flail. And a high probability is that Gyarados is faster than Drazzle. So yeah. Meaning, if this Steel Wings misses, I lose everything. We're on Lance's first Pokemon, and already there's a chance for a total loss, and for him to sweep me. Steel Wing Lance! Holy shit, before the next Flail can go off. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, you amazing owl. I love birds. Yes, I'm a furry, and my OC is an owl or a roadrunner, depending on the day of the week. Deal with it. But yes, you lovely owl, thank you. Resume. Dragonite. I have to pause and think, this is a worst case scenario, a Dragonite already. I switch, and Drazzle absorbs the Thunder Wave meant for Azrael before hurling a piece of the arena at the Dragonite. They begin exchanging twisters, and I decide to harden Drazzle to make him even harder to actually hurt. A Hyper Potion to regenerate Drazzle, which, while the harden buys me time and ensures the Hyper Beam won't just smash him outright. We continue hurling pieces of the arena over and over again, using raw strength to win this one, removing Dragonite number 1. Did I mention there's more than 1 Dragonite, and they get progressively higher level and with more crazy moves? Oh hi, another one. Drazzle is in there with the 2 times harden up, and well, this Dragonite is resistant to fire, so it does nothing. Only for Drazzle to get smashed by a blizzard, knocking him from 174 to 65. Boy! All that had to do was roll a little higher, and the 4 times weakness would have done its job. I put in Everfree, and Dragonite misses the blizzard, with a Thunderbolt being neutrally effective against him because, you know, reasons I feel are perfected again. I'm not kidding. That's a pixel. That's an actual pixel. The number of Fiaura perfects is getting out of hand, and now for a heart attack. Hyper Beam. which Drazzle was hardened for. I'm shaking as I watch the Hyper Beam hit my paralyzed Jolteon, Everfree, our Westinghouse Fox, and the HP starts rolling down. And it stops at 112. And Pin Missile does its job, landing 2 hits, which is just enough to make the Dragonite drop and need to be taken to the cleaners. Or the morgue. Dragonite number 3! This one's level 50! I blow a full restore on an Everfree to remove paralysis and bring them back up. Outrage hits for 43, only to be retaliated by another attempt from the Dragonite into an electric chair, because we keep putting Dragonites into electric chairs right now. Everfree, however, is my fastest mon in the West and pulled the Thunderbolt out again to remove the problem completely. Aerodactyl flies out. Great. Rock flying. What do I have in my arsenal that can fight this? I leave Everfree in and heal her from the Dragonites. Dreamer would be wrecked by Rock. Wrong, Dreamer would actually wreck the Rock, and I forgot this. Drazzle's ground Rock, dead to flying. Ponychick would die to Rock moves instantly. Niru, well, let's not repeat the very first fight in the Pokemon League, shall we? So yeah, my only option is leave Everfree in or switch out to Dreamer, because Dreamer's a flying type and would take a lot of damage too. And I pray the Aerodactyl doesn't have Earthquake or Ancient Power. You better start praying. Thunderbolt. I almost saw it stop at Fiaura Perfect, and instead it goes down to a single Thunderbolt. Charizard comes out to try to finish us. I put Dreamer in, who has Waterfall, and we're gonna extinguish that tail flame before we Fiaura Perfect it again. What is that counter up to now since Pokemon Yellow? Seriously, the number of Fiaura Perfects in this fight. We put Charizard back under the waterfall till the bubbles stop. Hell, this left me shaking seeing Dreamer knocked down like that, but also seeing we managed to get through the door for Professor Oak and my mom to come into the room and congratulate me. Now we get the second championship win, and no one died this time, with 4 out of 6 of our Pokemon getting edges from actual death. As each of the 6 are entered into the Hall of Fame, congratulations, we did it. 25 hours, 24 minutes, Pokemon Crystal, done. Ponychick, Everfree, and Drazzle basically being my team's Pillarmen MVPs that held everyone else up, and everyone else getting to use their specializations to get us through those tight, critical niche moments. But those 3 definitely share most valuable Pokemon for this game. You really want to know how valuable they were? 40% of my battles against gym leaders, trainers, and the Elite Four as well as Lance involve one of those 3. And at least 2 of them are in all of those battles. So yeah, they earned this. And we'll share it and be amazing friends because of it. Enjoy the credits for this game. We played our personal credits over here on Patreon. Thank you all for this so far. As for streaming, we're on Pokemon Platinum now and using an actual hard 3DS. Now, make sure you hit the like button and leave your comments. Don't forget to put ... for the algorithm if you have nothing else to say. And remember, 100 likes on this one and 1,000 views is all you guys need for us to get to do a Twitch play of White 2. Make it happen. Claim your prize, the right to do this, and me have to watch and be tormented by it. But yes, Pokemon Crystal, despite COVID, quarantine, airline cancellations, streaming from a laptop that doesn't quite have enough power, using a hotspot for Wi-Fi, a soft lock defeat on our first attempt, all of that, we still finished it. Thank you all for watching. I will see you over on Twitch, where I am told that Platinum is the hardest Pokemon game ever. P.S. We got a shiny Turtwig as our starter on stream. Let's see if it lives.